BYD, a Chinese automaker, has been shaping the EV landscape since 1995, not so much as a vehicle manufacturer, but as a battery manufacturer. This ATTO 3 is a testament to their journey, and with over 5 million units sold in such a short space of time, it has already earned a lot of applause from critics and consumers alike. Competing head-to-head with the big names like the Tesla Model Y, Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6, it seems to be holding its ground quite impressively. And priced lower than the majority of its rivals and offering the same amount of great features as standard, it has quickly become a great contender in the electric SUV segment. On paper, this BYD ATTO 3 seems to have all the right ingredients to shine as an electric SUV. But as you know, there's a lot more to a car than the things that I just mentioned. So in today's review, we'll deep dive into its features, equipment, and also pricing so that you can make an informed purchasing decision. But before we jump straight into its exterior design, if you enjoy the kind of content we produce here at OSV, then do consider subscribing to our channel and also clicking the notification bell to become part of this amazing community of car enthusiasts and also be notified when our next review goes live. But starting with its design, the front here clearly embodies that dragon face with its bold and futuristic styling. You also find these sharp lines that draw your attention towards the LED headlights that are integrated with full-width LED daytime running lights. At the bottom, you'll find these fake air intakes, which I suppose they do help with that imposing look. But you do have a real one to help cool down those batteries whilst on the go. At the front here, you will also find these indents that supposedly help with airflow and aerodynamics to improve that range and efficiency. Plus, there's also some BYD branding on this chrome strip, and although quite subtle, it's a nice touch. Moving over to the side profile, you'll find it to be quite bold and muscular, mainly due to these curves and sharp lines. The wheel arch is also quite pronounced, but unfortunately, you can only get these wheels in this design and style. But to be fair, I do like their styling, and 18 inches is quickly becoming the standard for a nice balance between ride comfort and style. You'll also find automatically folding door mirrors that come integrated with blind spot monitoring. You also get your roof rails that can carry up to 50 kilograms in weight. You get this nice chrome edging that frames the side windows, and you have a nice, slightly sloping roof line. There's also this panel at the back here that looks very similar to what you'd find in the ID3 and ID4 and also some Audi models. And overall, the silhouette of the car to me looks like a blend between the design language of the Volvo XC60, some bits of the Kia Niro EV, there's also definitely some ID4 in this, and perhaps even some BMW X3, which definitely creates a look that I really enjoy. In terms of sizing, it's what you'd expect for a small, compact family SUV. So you're looking at 4,445 millimeters in length, 1,875 millimeters in width, and 1,615 millimeters in height, but there's only so much numbers can tell you. So we'll explore how this shape and size impacts the space on offer for you and your passengers during the interior section. And during that interior section, you'll find that the language design for this car is highly influenced by human activity and human exercise. So it's no surprise to find that the exterior colors are also named after that. So you get climbing gray, you get parkour red, you get the surfing blue, there's also skiing white, and exploring green. Now, unlike other vehicles that we're used to seeing on our UK roads, this rear end is anything but ordinary. The full-width taillight bar, the prominent spoiler, and the stylized Build Your Dreams branding add a nice and unique touch that help it stand out on our UK roads. So all in all, whilst it does have quite a bold and aggressive appearance, I think it does it in the right way because it manages to blend in seamlessly those different elements, creating a consistent look that's both bold and stylish. Now, has the boot department carried over the efficiency that we're used to seeing from the East, or has he adapted our more chaotic organization? Well, the ATTO 3 boasts a generous 440 litres of boot capacity with the seats up. And if you fold those seats down, you are then rewarded with 1,340 litres of boot space. But this boot space isn't just spacious, it's also quite versatile and practical because as you can see, there is a nice square opening to this boot, plus the loading lip is also quite low. You also get a couple of side pockets, knitted side pockets, a light so that you can see what you're doing in the dark. Plus, there's a really generous amount of underfloor boot space. And the thing with this boot floor is that it's height adjustable. so that you can make it sit flush against that loading lip, making it a breeze to load and unload those heavy and awkward objects. So whilst it is definitely not the biggest boot when compared to its rivals, it has the versatility and practicality that you'll appreciate and enjoy. But will you also enjoy the driving experience? Let's join Katie, see what she makes of it. So we are once more joined by the lovely Katie.
Hello.
Who hasn't experienced the BYD ATTO 3 yet.
No.
So it's the first time you're behind the wheel of it, which is, it's a good position to be in because you can give us your first thoughts on the car. And I know you were really looking forward to driving this car.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. Fire away. What are your thoughts?
I love it. It is kind of more than I anticipated it to be. The only thing I would say about it is obviously I wasn't anticipating the driving noise, which is a bit of an off-put, but I think you'll get used to it. It is comfortable. The seat, I feel like I'm getting like a nice leathery hug about now, but I don't think it's leather, is it? It's like
Vegan.
Yeah. And everything is just, it's comfortable. I feel I can see the road. I love the colour. I'm a fan. All right, mate.
Unlike other reviews that we have tried recently, we only have a single motor option, so there's no all-wheel drive with the ATTO 3. So there's a single electric motor powering those front wheels, and that produces 201 horsepower, which gives you a 0 to 62 time of 7.3 seconds. So it's bigger than those cars, and it's also faster. Is it reassuring you that it has enough power to nip in and out of traffic, or do you feel like it's quite bulky?
No, I do not feel like this. I wouldn't hesitate about pulling out for a roundabout or junction or anything. It's, if I put my foot down, it's not too much power that my wheels are going to spin, but I feel comfortable and confident that I will get where I need to go.
The electric motor is also vertically mounted to obviously save you some space, which then gives BYD the option to adapt this form factor to not be as big. So that's why I think we see a shorter bonnet, which is quite nice to see. And another way they've saved on space was with their battery, because powering that electric motor is a Blade battery. Now, I'm not going to bore you with what a Blade battery is because one, I am not a battery expert, and two, it'd probably take me the whole review to explain every single component of it. But essentially, it's a battery that's quite compact, so it's a flat design. It takes around 50% less space, and actually it's quite beneficial because it means that the battery is structurally stronger. It's also more efficient. It gives you longer range, and probably the best part of it is that it gives you a longer lifespan, so you don't have to worry about that battery for a long time. Now, that battery has a capacity of around 60 kilowatt hours, which then gives you around, on paper, 260 miles of range. Now, as we've been experiencing, that paper figure is not completely accurate, and in real life you could expect to have around 50 miles less. So I'll say we could easily get 200 miles out of this car, which again is pretty good. To charge it using an 11 kilowatt wall box, it will take you around 8 hours. And it also supports fast charging up to 88 kilowatts. So it could do a 30 to 80% in around 39 minutes or so. But I've been talking for a long time, so I'll let you talk a little. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, looking at the dash here, I can see that it's currently got 149 miles range, and it's saying it's 57% of the battery. Now, that's me driving in sport mode. You know, we haven't really got any heating on, there's no music on, there's nothing like that. And I think 159 miles at 57%, I think is pretty good. Obviously, like we said before, people don't drive around in silence, and the winter's coming up, so it's getting colder. But I don't feel that this car would decrease as quickly as others, maybe. So I'd feel quite confident going out in this on a longer journey.
So underpinning the vehicle, it's BYD's e-platform 3.0. Another thing that they produced themselves. And the good thing about that platform is it's built specifically for electric cars. Most vehicles nowadays, almost manufacturers nowadays, they are just adapting normal platforms and turning it into an electric vehicle, which obviously having a dedicated platform for electric vehicles will make them more efficient, will then obviously improve their range And in certain cases, like this one, obviously, is about safety, which then leads us on to, finally, what are your thoughts on the drivability? If you go through the handling, suspension, visibility, noise levels, transmission, how are you finding the whole thing?
It's a lot smoother than I anticipated it would be. Obviously, it's kind of, an unknown brand. They're battery manufacturers, and it, started off there, and now they've produced this car, and I thought, oh, okay, let's see how it is. It drives great. The suspension I wouldn't say it was hard, but it's not soft. It's quite springy. You feel the road, but you're not kind of feeling every lump and bump. I feel like the seats give you like that nice hug. There's enough support without actually having a lumbar support. I'm really surprised how comfortable and enjoyable. This is something I'd expect to feel in your Mercedes, your Audis, the top end of your vehicles, but it was on par with those, definitely. I think I like this a little bit more than the Funky Cat, which I didn't think I'd say. I know.
Very controversial.
But it's just, I've got so much vision. It's got a self-changing mirror. The pillars are not too big and in the way. The windscreen is huge. You've got all this light coming in from that absolute beast of a sunroof. Don't know. I can't really compare it to anything else. It's just really nice.
What are your thoughts on the view at the back? Because it also has a little bit of a sloping.
It's got a smaller, rear view, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's enough to put me off. It's not quite at the same sportback level. It doesn't, it's not as big as a hatch, but I think you've got pretty big mirrors. It's got all the rear sensors and traffic alerts and everything like that. So if something did come too close behind you, I think the car would let you know before you saw it anyway. Yeah.
Exactly. What about the stick? What about this huge screen that we've got here, like this massive iPad? You could compare it to the Tesla screen, except this one rotates.
Oh, it does. And it's great. So driving it, I haven't got a preference. I thought I liked it in landscape mode, but then putting it in portrait, it changes the whole layout of it, and it works both ways. I think this way I've got a bit more of a view, whereas when it's in portrait mode, I feel like I have to move my head a bit just because there's a lot more of glare on the screen. But the information is literally right in front of your face. It's huge. And this little screen as well, I thought, oh, it's a bit small for a car, but I've got everything I need on it. It's got a picture of the car. It will show you all of the controls and everything you've got on, the safety features, the smart driving. It shows you everything you need, and there's nothing kind of in-your-face extra on the vehicle, if that makes sense.
And design-wise, that digital instrument cluster or digital driver's display, I don't really like it when it's mounted on the steering wheel, but I suppose you can't complain about it because obviously if you're adjusting the steering wheel, then the screen will adjust itself as well. You're adjusting both things. So because normally there's that issue where you put the steering wheel to be in your preferred driving position, but now you're blocking the screen behind it. And I feel like in this case, it doesn't happen. The ID3 had the same setup. And whilst I don't really like it due to aesthetics and how it looks, I think it actually a lot more practical and beneficial to be that way.
I think it works in this car because you've got the giant screen, and the design of the car is very fluid, it's very organic. There's no kind of sharp lines, there's no harsh colours or anything. I think if you were to stick the screen onto the dashboard,
It'd feel out of place.
Yeah, it would feel really, really out of place. Whereas that, it's where you need it to be. It's got all the information. It's quite inconspicuous. Even that doesn't have sharp edges. It's all quite nice. Yeah.
Rounded off. But one of the things that some people may be dubious about, it's safety, because obviously it's a Chinese automaker. We haven't heard of it, or it's not very popular here yet. I can imagine it will become quite popular, like the Euro Funky Cat will become quite popular. And so you will have your reasons to obviously be concerned about the safety features and the overall safety. But let me reassure you, because the car got a 5-star Euro NCAP rating, which is really reassuring. And to put it into perspective, there are some European cars that don't even achieve that. So, If safety is a big concern of yours, then rest assured that this car has you covered. But what are your thoughts on the whole safety thing?
When we first got told about it, it was like, BYD, who's that? And then I had a chat with them, and for a company that have made 5 million cars and have a 5-star safety rating, you have big expectations, and I did have big expectations. I can press a button and I can see every single angle of my car. I can adaptive cruise control. I've got lane keep assist. It feels helpful. It doesn't feel like there's too much of a hindrance. And I've got my blind spot indicators on the wing mirrors, and they're fantastic.
And what, actually, since we're here, what do you think of that camera?
The fact that, and you can make it see-through. So you've got, you can work, as you can see here, I'm in a really great spot. You can see the car, you see above it. You can go to different views. And again, that's available at a press of a button or just put it into reverse.
So you just did a 3-point turn here?
Yeah.
No issues.
That wasn't too bad.
But I suppose the last thing that we need to talk about is, now that we have experienced that all, what are your final thoughts on the car? And who do you think this car is for?
Well, in all honesty, this I can easily say has been my favourite car that I have driven so far. Drivability, for me, check. Space. I've got dogs. The boot's big enough, the back seat's big enough, I can put them in there. It's got the vegan leather, so I'm not going to worry about the cloth. Drive mode's great. Range, saying 50% now, 130 mile range. Fantastic. I think, this car's for me, and I'll be taking it home and not returning it.
Oh, good.
So I think it is for everyone, anyone and everyone. I think it'd be a good business car because it's not kind of too in your face flashy, has everything you need, family car.
Thank you so much for chauffeuring me around once again.
Welcome.
I hope you enjoyed this trip. And now we'll drive back and have a proper look at this interior because there's a lot to see here. And when it comes to its interior, the Atto 3 boasts a spacious cabin with ample legroom and headroom for the driver. Plus, to sweeten things up, you also get 6-way electrically adjustable seats that, when combined with your manually adjusted steering wheel that you can adjust for reach and height, really help you find your perfect driving position. When it comes to material quality and variety inside the Atto 3's interior, you get your soft touch plastics, your vegan leather, there's also some chrome edging and even gloss black. The thing is, they have been used sparingly, ensuring that every inch feels premium, and the result is a well-assembled, high-quality finish. The steering wheel, it's decently sized and has a nice flat bottom shape to it. It's also wrapped in that vegan leather, which make it really, really grippy, and you'll find controls for your driver assist features and your infotainment display, putting that control straight at your fingertips. Behind it, you'll find your digital driver's display, and that will show you your basic driving information whilst you're on the go, such as your speed, battery, and range left. The good thing about it is that as you adjust your steering wheel, the display moves with it, so you always have a clear view of it whilst on the move. The infotainment display, as you saw, can rotate, which is one of the biggest features for me. I think personally I'll keep it in the vertical orientation just because I feel like you don't need to turn your head as much to see all of your basic functions, but it's a really responsive display. The icons, as you can see, are really big, nice and large. And the display itself is really sharp and comes equipped with your standard features such as navigation, DAB radio. There's also Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I mean, at this point, most infotainment displays do have the same functionality, but it's just nice to have such a big display and that is customizable when it comes to its orientation. Underneath it, you'll find these air vents with this interesting design. So obviously that's to turn it on and off, plus that you can change the direction. From there, you have a wireless charging pad. You have your gear selector, which is really satisfying to hold, I would say. From there, you have your start-stop button, your electronic parking brake, and you also have a volume knob down here. There's your drive mode selector. There's also the snow mode, plus a few other buttons to control certain functionality, including the 360 camera. Moving on from there, you get a couple of really small cup holders in the center compartment here. Considering this is quite a chunky one, there's not much, they're not very wide, so you probably can only fit one of those smaller 330ml bottles of water. But you then are rewarded with a huge center compartment here, which can fit tons of stuff. Plus it also doubles as an armrest. Your door bins are also quite interesting, not the largest door bins I've seen, but then again they're big enough to accommodate one of those larger bottles of water. And the glove box, it's quite massive. Another great feature with this interior here is this huge panoramic sunroof that lets in lots of light, especially in these winter days where the sun is going down quite early. It's nice to just open that up and get a lot more light into this cabin. Plus, to help brighten that cabin even more, there's plenty of options for your ambient lighting to further customize this interior to your style. And when it comes to its rear cabin, the ATTO 3 doesn't disappoint either, because as you can see, even after having configured this driver's seat to my preferred driving position, I still have plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom, and that's despite this massive panoramic sunroof. At 6 foot, I'm not touching the roof lining at all. These rear seats are extremely comfortable, but if you do have a third adult passenger, they will struggle a bit for those longer journeys. If you don't have 3 adult passengers, you can fold this middle bit down, which rewards you with a nice comfy armrest and a couple of cup holders, which seem to be bigger than the ones in the front. The rear door bins also feature this lovely strings, but they are slightly smaller than the ones in the front. Again, material quality and variety found in the back here is exactly the same as the one in front. So you got soft touch plastics, your vegan leather. There's your interesting door handles. These will open almost to 90 degrees, which makes it extremely easy to fit in those bulky car seats, which you can then attach to the ISOFIX anchor points on the back of these seats. There's also some in the front seat. In terms of other niceties in the back here, you get quite a few pockets on the back of the seats. So there's a couple that you can fit a phone or a wallet, and then there's a bigger one perfect for a magazine or iPad. Plus you also have a USB-C port and another cubby hole at the bottom. Overall, when it comes to this interior, it feels really premium compared to other cars we've experienced recently, and it does make you feel relaxing. I'm not sure if it's the choice of colors, if it's the design itself, but it's a really relaxing interior cabin. But how much will it set you back? Well, there's actually 3 different trim levels, and the price ranges from just under £38,000 to just over £39,000. But to be fair, there's not many things added with the top range trim level. The main differences are the power tailgate, which is a great bonus. There's also the bigger infotainment display, and then you get 8-way adjustable front seats. But other than that, there are not many key differences between those trim levels. And with that said, should you buy, lease or finance the BYD ATTO 3? Well, it certainly knows how to make a statement. Even though it has a bold and stylish exterior design, it really doesn't feel out of place on our UK roads and seamlessly blends in with the rest of the traffic. The interior is comfortable and spacious for both yourself and your passengers. The cargo has enough versatility and practicality for your daily and weekly needs. Plus, it also provides you with a spirited driving experience. But there's no such thing as a perfect car. And here, some of my nitpicks are, well, whilst I do enjoy that 15.6-inch touchscreen, I wish there was a few buttons to control certain functions of the car. Also, I do feel that the acceleration could be slightly snappier, and those seats, whilst plushy, could be slightly more supportive for those longer journeys. But as per every review, these are only my nitpicks and definitely not deal breakers, because overall, the value for money you are getting with this vehicle, it's outstanding. And if you're looking for a solid offer on this amazing vehicle, then why not giving us a call on 01903 538 835, and our vehicle specialist will be more than happy to go over everything for you, including getting it delivered to your front door. As always, if you don't have time to chat right now, then click on the banner above to book a call back at a date and time that meets your schedule perfectly, or alternatively, you can always visit our website for the latest offers on the BYD and other electric vehicles. But that's it. If you enjoyed this review and found it helpful, then do click on the like button, subscribe to our channel to be part of this amazing community of car enthusiasts and help us reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And also click on the notification bell to be notified when our next review goes live. Now, if you do want to find out a few extra things about this car, I had a chat with Paul because he had the car for an entire week, so he does have a few interesting points that you might want to know. So if that's a video that you want to watch, then click over there, and to subscribe to our channel, you click over there. Till next time, safe driving.